Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected brother, this month is Rabiul Awwal, and in this month our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the man of the humanity, who was humble for the humanity, regardless of Muslim, non-Muslim, to everyone. The Prophet of the world, the latest and greatest Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was born in this month, and also he was died in this month. So in this month, inshallah, we'll discuss about Seerah, how his life was and how he has spent his life, what dealt he did in his lifestyle with the Muslims, with non-Muslims, and how our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam built up a society, a community, a state, and how our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam initiated a constitution for the Ummah. And the constitution of Medina, it was the first written constitution in the human history. So my dear brother, before starting of my lecture, I just want to mention some of the things from our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as how our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a human in his family, with his colleagues, and how he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in his society, and what was our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's principle. And then inshallah I will start my topic, the hadith which I want to mention with you inshallah. Respected brother, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was so humble in his family and with his colleagues. As an individual man, as an individual person, he was humble to everyone. So respected brother, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has a khadim, Hazrat Anas ibn Malik radiallahu ta'ala, who was khadim of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like during 10 years. Consistently he served our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And eventually Hazrat Anas radiallahu ta'ala said about our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's character that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never said uff to Hazrat Anas radiallahu ta'ala. That was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's individual life and his akhlaq. Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu, he served Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam 10 years, and within these 10 years, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't say uff to Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu. That is the character of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never said to Anas radiallahu anhu that why you didn't do these kind of things. And also, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never said uff, just the word uff, to Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu. Even though Anas radiallahu anhu was 10 years with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he served our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's character as a person, as an individual. And how our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in his family. That Aisha radiallahu anha said that he was so much humble in his family, and he used to serve his family members. He helped his wives and everyone. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha said that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's character is kana khuluquhu al-Quran. His character was Quran. And like if we study Quran, if we see Quran, then we may realize that how our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's character was. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha said Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam consistently participated in the household activities, and he helped his wife by washing dishes, by the things that we do in household activities. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did all of the things. Even though he was the busiest man in the world, doing the things, he was the greatest and busiest man in the world. He had a lot of things to do, but still he helped his wife, he helped his family members. He gave his time, he prioritized his family, even though he was busy. That was our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha said, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also played with Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha. And Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha said, one time Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam raced with Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha, and Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha owned that time. And then later, Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam played again, and our Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was winner. And then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was smiling to Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha. Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Aisha radiallahu anha that this winning is actually for that. It means Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam just was joking, and he was smiling with his wife. That was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the last point that I want to mention about our Prophet's social life, how he was. So if we look at the hadith that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man lam yarham saghirana wa lam yuqir kabirana, falaysa minna." The principle, the saying of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave us a formula, he gave us a principle that how we may deal with the society in a community. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man lam yarham saghirana wa lam yuqir kabirana." If you are not humble, if you are not kindful to the youngers, then we are not ummah of Prophet. And then man lam yarham saghirana wa lam yuwaqqir kabirana. If we are not honoring our elder people, senior people, then also we are not among the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the principle that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. So my dear brother, as a Prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was humble in his individual life, in his personal life, and also he was active in his family life. He used to help his family members, his wives. That was our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even though he was the busiest man in the world. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as a man in the society, in the community, he was active, he was humble to everyone, regardless who is younger, who is older, regardless of a person's status and position. He was humble and he showed his sympathy, empathy to every people, no matter the person is from which region, no matter the person is from which background is. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed his honor, his sympathy, his humility to all of the people, regardless of their background. That is something we have to consider in our life, especially in this immigrant society. We have to be humble, we have to have showing our empathy and sympathy and honoring all of the people, regardless of their religion, regardless of their status, regardless of their color and something. Our Prophet was humble. Our Prophet was honoring all of the people, no matter Ajami, Arabi, no matter who is from rural area, from city. That was Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My dear brothers and sisters, now I want to mention a hadith that is very beautiful hadith, and inshallah I will briefly mention about the points of the hadith within few minutes, inshallah. Respected brothers and sisters, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us different formula and principle for us in his saying, in his hadiths. And a hadith which is mentioned in Bukhari and in Muslim, and the hadith is muttafaqun alayhi. Muttafaqun alayhi are those hadiths, those are mentioned in Bukhari and in Muslim. They're the authentic hadiths. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned about the 7 categories of people that will have protection and special position in the day of judgment, when there will be no shade, no protections, no security except the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah, I'm just mentioning these 7 categories so that after the Jummah, we'll try to imagine, we'll try to calculate and count that which category we belong. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Sab'atun yuzilluhum Allahu fi zillihi yawma la zilla illa zilluh." There are 7 types of people that will have special place in the day of judgment. They will be under the shade of Allah in the day of judgment, when there will be no shade except Allah. And this hadith is very beautiful hadith, as Muhaddithin said that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam included all of us in this hadith, regardless of our position, regardless of our wealth and status, who is rich or poor, who is woman or male, and regardless of their age, young, youth, older, all of the people, our Prophet ﷺ mentioned in this hadith. And we have a place in this hadith if we are among these 7 types of people. Prophet ﷺ said, "Sab'atun yuzilluhum Allahu fi zillihi yawma la zilla illa zilluh." There are 7 types of people. Only the 7 types of people, they will have special place in the day of judgment under Allah's shade. And the first category, Prophet ﷺ said, Imamun Adil, a righteous leader. A righteous leader, it means a person who may run a country, state, or Muhaddithin said a person who is leader in his family, in his community, in his society, or at his workplace. And if he is righteous, that means he is Imamun Adil. In our family, if we are responsible and if we are building our family, our kids in the way of Allah, that means we are Imamun Adil. In a community, in a society, if we build a society, if we build a masjid, if we build a community and we are righteous, we are pious, that means we are Imamun Adil. And we will be under the 7 types of people in the first category. And then our Prophet ﷺ said in the second category, وَشَابٌ نَشَأَ فِي عِبَادَةِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. That is the second from the 7. Prophet ﷺ said, a young who grow up under the way of Allah, in the way of Allah, in the worship of Allah. A young who grow up in the way of Allah. in this society, our young brothers and sisters, they have a lot of questions. They are a few numbers. They are practicing and something. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran about Ashab al-Kahf that innahum fityatun amanu bi rabbihim wa zidnahum huda. They are a few numbers. They are just 7 young. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided them and Allah increased His guidance to them. So no matter the numbers, if we are practicing Islam, if we are participating in halaqah, in majma', in Jum'ah, in daily prayers, and as a youth, we are building and we are maintaining all of the things related to religious activities, no matter the numbers, my dear brothers and sisters, we will be in this second category. As our Prophet said, these 7 types of people will be under the shade of Allah. And the third, which is very close to us, our Prophet said, وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ, and a person whose heart is attached to the masajid, a person whose connections is related to masajid, he is connected with masajid, and his life activities, all of the things are masjid centric. It means he is always connected with masjid by different ways, by building a masjid, by helping a masjid, donating in masjid, and coming in the masjid for prayers, for Jum'ah, for halaqah. If it is, then this person in the second category, that our Prophet ﷺ mentioned that وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ. These are the 3 categories. And then in the 4th category, our Prophet ﷺ said, وَرَجُلَانَ تَحَابَّ فِي اللَّهِ اجْتَمَعَ عَلَيْهِ وَتَفَرَّقَ عَلَيْهِ. And 2 persons, they love each other only for the sake of Allah. And when they apart from each other, when they make a separation from each other, that time it is also for the sake of Allah. This is a very beautiful part of this hadith, especially in this community, when we will make a companionship and relationship with others. First, we'll try to imagine and calculate the person is good or salih or bad, a person is good or not, whom we are making relationship, companionship and friendship, the person is good or not, the person is can be helpful for me in my deen or not. So, وَرَجُلَانَ تَحَابَّ فِي اللَّهِ اجْتَمَعَ عَلَيْهِ وَتَفَرَّقَ عَلَيْهِ. The 2 persons, they love each other only for the sake of Allah. And when they make a separation among them, it is also for the sake of Allah. In the 5th category, our Prophet said, وَرَجُلٌ دَعَتْهُ إِمْرَأَةٌ ذَاتَ مَنْصَبٍ وَجَمَالٍ فَقَالَ إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ. And a person who is tempted by a woman who has status, position, that time the person say, إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ, I fear Allah. Muhaddithin said that is also applied to women, that is also applied to a male. When a person who is tempted by others, by any gender like male or female, that time that person, he or she say, Inni akhafullah, I fear Allah. Then we will be among these 7 categories. And my dear brother, the 6th category, Rasulullah said, وَرَجُلٌ تَصَدَّقَ بِصَدَقَةٍ فَأَخْفَاهَا حَتَّى لَا تَعْلَمَ شِمَالُهُ مَا تُنْفِقُ يَمِينُهُ. And a person who donates so secretly, even though his left hand doesn't know what his right hand is giving. This is very important for donating. And sometimes we donate for the name and fame. But if we donate so secretly, then we'll be included in this 6th category of these 7 types of people. And the last one, which is very important for us, as Prophet said, وَرَجُلٌ ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَالِيًا فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ. And a person who remembers Allah and his eyes tears. He cries when he remembers Allah. So in this hadith, our Prophet mentioned these 7 types of people. And in the first four categories, these are actually related to public life. And in the last 3 categories, these are related to private life. And Muhaddithin said that our Prophet how beautifully categorized and sequentially organized these 7 types of people in this hadith. And he included all of the people from our society, from us. No matter you have position, you have your wealth, you are rich or poor, you are male or female, you are older or younger, regardless of your age, everyone is included in this hadith. So inshallah from this Jummah, we got this hadith, and inshallah we'll try to calculate and imagine which category we belong. If we are not among these one of the categories, then we'll try to prepare ourselves for these types of people, so that we will be under the shade of Allah, when there will be no shade in the day of judgment, when there will be no protections, no safe place, no security in the day of judgment. Inshallah, if we are among these 7 types of people, Allah will give us protections and His special safety under his throne of the shade in the day of judgment. May Allah accept all of us, brothers and sisters, among these 7 categories. May Allah prepare us for among these 7 types of people, so that we may have a place under the shade of Allah in the day of judgment. Barakallahu ta'ala fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.